7 months before Rajasthan elections, the political desert storm brews on. So we are 7 months before Rajasthan elections. Sachin Pilot has renewed his attack where Ashok Gehlot is concerned. Yesterday in a press conference, Sachin Pilot said that he's going to be sitting on a fast against his own government. Well, it believes sources close to Sachin Pilot say no, not his own government, but against Vasundhara Raje Scindia and corruption, because the Congress is on a plank which is to take on the incumbent government at the centre on corruption. Therefore, Sachin Pilot taking it further in the state of Rajasthan and urging his government to take down Vasundhara Raje Scindia on charges of corruption. Sachin Pilot would be sitting on a one-day fast, but many are reading into this politically speaking. What does it mean? What is Sachin Pilot thinking? What is his game plan going ahead? What is he looking at? Well, option one, many suggest as per sources that Sachin Pilot once again trying to pressurize the Congress High Command to deliver on the promises that the High Command had made to him. Well, 7 months before elections, it does seem that the High Command is not really too keen on delivering on those promises, because the man you see on your television screen, Ashok Gehlot, has dug in his heels. If that doesn't work, what could be Sachin Pilot's plan B? Well, we're going to break it down in terms of questions there for you. But plan B for Sachin Pilot would be to maybe form his own political outfit. The doors of the Bharatiya Janata Party close to Sachin Pilot is what our sources insist, and Sachin Pilot not too amiable to going towards the BJP as well. Then there was word that will he be the chief ministerial face for the Aam Aadmi Party? The Aam Aadmi Party allegedly trying to woo Sachin Pilot. That also many suggest is not going to happen. What could happen, that many political analysts believe, is that if the Congress High Command doesn't deliver in on the promises to Sachin Pilot, then Sachin Pilot could form his own political outfit. However, does he take it ahead on its own, or will Sachin Pilot form a new political axis? Word has it that RLP plus Aam Aadmi Party plus Sachin Pilot could be or prove to be a viable political option for Sachin Pilot. Primarily, Sachin Pilot himself represents the Gujar community, the RLP represents the Jat community, and of course the new factor in Rajasthan would be the Aam Aadmi Party. Well, all of three coming together could form a formidable alliance in the election. But this is, of course, plan B for Sachin Pilot. We're going to break it down, cut across to our editors as well as my colleagues in Rajasthan who are tracking the situation very closely. Joining me is Dev Ankur Vadhavan, Sharad Kumar, Rahul Srivastav, National Affairs Editor, and Rajdeep Sardesai, Consulting Editor. But I want to start with you, Dev. What's the plan? Tomorrow, we have Sachin Pilot sitting on a one-day fast. Sources close to him insist that, no, this has nothing to do with Ashok Gehlot or, even his own government in Rajasthan. It's against corruption. It's against those promises made by the Congress before Ashok Gehlot came to power. He wants them delivered. What are your sources telling you?
Well, Preeti, this is election year, a big year for Sachin Pilot per se. He knows this is going to be, make or break, do or die kind of a situation for him. In January, I can tell you, Preeti, that I covered the yatra that he took out from Jaipur to Nagaur, from Nagaur to Hanumangarh, from Hanumangarh to Jhunjhunu, and then to Pali, and then back to Jaipur. And there was, a groundswell of support that he was receiving during the course of that yatra. Sachin Pilot now clearly, Preeti, believes that the best kind of, scenario for him is to go directly to people to tell them that this is what he believed in. And one of those things is the issue of corruption. He maintains that the party came to power in 2018 because they had raised the issue of corruption against Vasundhara Raje government. There were several cases. The carpet issue was there. Then the mining, the massive mining scam which he alleges to the tune of 45,000 crore rupees was there. He says that on all of these issues, Ashok Gehlot and him were together. And he maintains that while being in opposition, if they could get those kind of evidence, the evidence that they claimed they showed to people, to media per se, then when they came to government, they could have built upon that. Why did that not happen? So this token one day fast is clearly something which is being used to target Ashok Gehlot.
Okay.
Given the fact that this is an election year and Sachin Pilot now feels.
Well, Sachin Pilot is not going to go down so calmly, is very clear. But, they stay with me. I want to quickly bring in my colleague Sharat as well as Rahul Srivastav as well as Rajdeep Sardesai in the studio with us. But Sharat, I'll come to you after Dev. Interesting, because plan B, Sharat, कहा जा रहा है कि प्रेशराइज हो, हाई कमांड को प्रेशराइज कर रहे हैं एक बार फिर, पर अगर उससे कुछ नहीं निकलता है तो प्लान बी है कि अपनी खुद की पॉलिटिकल आउटफिट फ्लोट करें। और एक ऑप्शन हो सकता है कि आरएलपी, जो जाट समुदाय, जो कास्ट मैट्रिक्स है, खुद गुर्जर है, और आम आदमी पार्टी, ये एक पॉलिटिकल एक्सिस बन जाए बाद में।
देखिए प्रीति, इस बात पर बहस करनी चाहिए कि सचिन पायलट इस स्टेज पर क्यों आ गए हैं कि उन्हें धरना पर बैठना पड़ रहा है। दरअसल ये संवादहीनता की स्थिति है, दिल्ली से कोई संवाद हो नहीं पा रहा है उनका, जिसकी वजह से स्थिति ये इस झगड़े को मैं सचिन पायलट और कांग्रेस का, ये अशोक गहलोत का झगड़ा नहीं देखता हूँ, ये कांग्रेस का जो ग्रेजुअल डिक्लाइन है उससे जोड़कर देखता हूं कि कहीं कोई व्यक्ति नहीं है, किसी में जुम्बिश नहीं हो रही है, हरकत नहीं हो रही है कि हमारा एक स्टेट में इस तरह से जा रहा है। कहीं ना कहीं संवाद होता, अगर कम्युनिकेशन होता गांधी परिवार से या शीर्ष नेतृत्व से, केसी वेणुगोपाल से भी सचिन पायलट का, तो शायद ये स्थिति नहीं उठाते। उन्हें कुछ वादे किए गए थे, जैसा कि उनके समर्थकों का कहना है, वो पूरे नहीं हुए, तो भी उनको कहीं शिफ्ट करके या फिर सत्ता में कोई हिस्सेदारी दी जा सकती है। आरपीएन सिंह, ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया, जतिन प्रसाद नहीं है। सचिन पायलट को जो लोग देखते हैं, जानते हैं, वो जानते हैं कितना बड़ा उनका एक फॉलोइंग है। कांग्रेस में एक नेता नहीं बचा है जिसके पास कास्ट का फॉलोइंग है, एक जबरदस्त कास्ट का फॉलोइंग है इनके पास, और साथ ही बॉय नेक्स्ट डोर की जो इमेज है, जिससे अदर कास्ट में भी, यूथ में भी एक उनका फॉलोइंग है। मगर कम्युनिकेशन दिल्ली से टूट गया, जिसकी वजह से कहा जा रहा है ये कदम उठा रहे हैं। अब देखिए, राहुल गांधी को लेकर यहाँ पर प्रदेश भर में सभाएं हो रही हैं। अशोक गहलोत, सुखजिंदर सिंह रंधावा, गोविंद सिंह डोटासरा, रघु शर्मा, शांति धारीवाल सब हेलीकॉप्टर में घूम रहे हैं। इन्हें कोई नहीं पूछ रहा, ये घर पर चुपचाप बैठे हैं। तो अगर इस तरह से कोई नेता चुपचाप बैठा रहेगा तो कब तक बैठा रहेगा, वो भी अपना देखेगा। तो मुझे लग रहा है कि ये कांग्रेस की समस्या है, ये सचिन पायलट की समस्या से आगे की समस्या है, कहीं एडजस्ट नहीं हो पा रहे। अब पूछ रहे हैं आप ऑप्शन को लेकर। देखिए, ऑप्शन तो इनके पास यह है कि वो कांग्रेस में रहकर अशोक गहलोत का विरोध करते रहे, ताकि अपने जो उनके चाहने वाले हैं उन पर एक मैसेज जाता रहे कि नेता हमारा जिंदा है। दूसरी बात यह है कि अपनी पार्टी बनाना, अपनी पार्टी में उनके साथ समस्या यह है कि डॉक्टर किरोड़ी लाल मीणा ने पार्टी बनाया तो मीणा की पार्टी हो गया, हनुमान बेनीवाल ने आरएलपी बनाया तो जाटों की पार्टी हो गई। ये पार्टी बनाएंगे तो गुजरों की पार्टी का तगमा इनको लग जाएगा ठप्पा। इनके पास एक और ऑप्शन है जिसे लेकर चर्चा की जा रही है कि वो आम आदमी पार्टी में जा सकते हैं, क्योंकि दोनों को जरूरत है। अरविंद केजरीवाल को उत्तर भारत में विस्तार के लिए एक क्रेडिबल चेहरे की जरूरत है, और वो सचिन पायलट भरपाई कर सकते हैं। और सचिन पायलट को पैसे के, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की, लॉजिस्टिक की जो कमी पार्टी बनाने पर रहेगी, वो आम आदमी पार्टी से भरपाई हो सकती है। क्योंकि देखिए, अरविंद केजरीवाल आते हैं राजस्थान में, 15 मिनट तक केवल वसुंधरा राजे, अशोक गहलोत के गठजोड़ पर भाषण देते हैं, दोनों के भ्रष्टाचार पर वही सब दोहराते हैं सचिन पायलट। हो सकता है कि कोइंसिडेंस हो, लेकिन मैं अगर देख पा रहा हूं तो अगर ये नहीं रहते हैं कांग्रेस में तो आम आदमी पार्टी में जा सकते हैं। हमारे सोर्स कह रहे हैं कि उन्हें बुलाने की कोशिश वहां से हो रही है।
एक बात तो सत्य है कि ये हमारे सोर्सेज भी कह रहे हैं कि उनको आम आदमी पार्टी बुलाने की कोशिश कर रही है। पर I want to bring in Rajdeep into this conversation as well as Rahul Srivastav into this conversation. Rajdeep, do you really see him go to the Aam Aadmi Party, or do you think Sachin Pilot would want to possibly form his own political outfit? That is, if the Congress doesn't, come good at all with what Sharat is saying, that they've completely closed their doors, and maybe form a political outfit and look for a new political axis. And the RLP plus Aam Aadmi Party plus Sachin Pilot is a viable political axis.
Preeti, first option of Sachin Pilot was to stay within the Congress, fight within the Congress, and be projected as the Chief Minister of the Congress ahead of the 2023 elections. That was the hope that he had, which is why he had stayed on in the Congress, hoping that at some stage ahead of 2023, there would be a shift in stand, but that's clearly not happening. True. If you recall, in October, there was the revolt virtually engineered by Gehlot supporters when there was this opportunity in a way to bring Mr. Gehlot to Delhi. It was rejected both by Mr. Gehlot and his supporters. Disciplinary action was promised at the time against Mr. Gehlot's supporters by, among others, Mallikarjun Kharge, who was the observer then, since became Congress president. And in these last 5 months, Mr. Pilot's supporters claim at various stages they've been told, wait on, we'll make sure that something will happen. It's all going to, it'll all be fine ahead of 2023. You will be projected as a future leader, but it's not happened. And now it seems, if anything, with the manner in which Mr. Gehlot has been pushing the right to health bill, his projection by Mahesh Joshi only the other day, Chauthi Bar, Gehlot Sarkar, it's clear that Ashok Gehlot will lead the party into the 2023 election. So that door has closed. So that was Pilot's first preference because he thought, being much younger than Mr. Gehlot, he will benefit from a generational change. That's not happening. Option number 2 is to go along with the Aam Aadmi Party, join the Aam Aadmi Party. I don't think Sachin Pilot wants to do that.
The doors of the Congress will be forever shut to him then.
So, and the fact there's a belief that being with the joining the Aam Aadmi Party is and sort of working under Arvind Kejriwal's leadership is not his preferred option. Option number 3.
And he's no Bhagwant Mann.
He's no and the fact is that he is actually, his heart is in the Congress.
Right.
Ideally, he wants to take over. He believes that the Congress is the party which has let him down. His second option, as we said, was to join AAP. But he's worried that in the Aam Aadmi Party, will he become just another satrap with Arvind Kejriwal running the show? Option number 3, which he's seriously considering now, is to float a party and then take the support of AAP. And they form a wider front as a third front. That's why if you see his attack this time, it's on both Ashok Gehlot and Vasundhara Raje. He is accusing the two main leaders who have run Rajasthan for 20 years of corruption and thereby emerge as an alternative. So my sense is, if he continues on this path, he will still try to bargain with the Congress and hope that the Congress will concede. If they don't in the next month, and if the Congress, closes their doors to him for chief ministership, he is seriously exploring the possibility of some kind of tie-up that results in a third front, something that in Rajasthan's politics has never really happened.
And what has never happened, and I want to bring in Rahul Srivastav into this, and Rahul Srivastav, for somebody who's covered many seasons of Rajasthan elections, what has never happened, and what in Rajasthan is a blasphemous caste combination, is the Gujars and the Jats coming together, because they haven't really come ever together, especially with the OBC, contention of, reservation is concerned. Away from all of that, if Sachin Pilot, and a lot of people say chronology samajhiye, over the last 3 months, Sachin Pilot has conducted many rallies, many sabhas. 95% of those rallies and sabhas have been in Jat and Gujar dominated areas. On the other hand, you have an Aam Aadmi Party which is wooing not just Sachin Pilot but the likes of Jat leader, RLP leader, Mr. Hanuman Beniwal as well. If you look at, the caste calculus or the metrics in the state of Rajasthan, and we'll play those graphics out, Rahul, you have the Jats who even outweigh in terms of numbers the Rajputs. So maximum number in terms of population are Jats in Rajasthan, which comes to about 12 to 13% by the last count. The Gujars come to about 8 to 9%. You bring them together, one would suggest it's a very, very interesting combination, and throw in new entrant up.
Preeti, right now for anybody to become a point of fulcrum for various caste groups, I think it's a difficult proposition. Why I say that? Rajasthan is not just dominated by caste and the communal element, because it does eventually, the BJP has a lot of pelf in this state when it comes to Lok Sabha elections. It does have also a factor that if somebody is the ruling dispensation, there is always a sense of anti-incumbency blowing against that party. Now, for somebody to become a fulcrum at this moment in the Congress party, which is faction-ridden, is very difficult, Preeti. Let's see what is happening. Sachin Pilot, one day Anshan, on the basis, now there is a history to it. On the 28th of March 2022, he wrote a letter talking about corruption in Vasundhara Raje Scindia's tenure. and he wanted a probe, various things, 45,000 crore mining scam, IPL, Lalit Modi, there was a Rajasthan Yatra and several other things. He repeated those allegations in October 2018. He wrote again a letter in November also. There was a letter. Then he's now producing videos of Ashok Gehlot promising a probe prior to the elections in 2018. What
Right.
he's trying to do is push Ashok Gehlot. Let me just build. I'll just build it a little. See, tomorrow is the birth anniversary of social reformer Mr. Jyotiba Phule. Jyotiba Phule was a Mali by caste. Now, Ashok Gehlot, coincidentally, is a Mali by caste. Sachin Pilot has chosen the day very well. I've had chats with people very close to him. He has right now no plans of leaving the Congress. He says that perhaps this is now an opportunity to push for Ashok Gehlot's exit from that place of eminence. What he is alarmed by the fact is that just 1 week ago, when Rahul Gandhi went to Surat to appear at a sessions court, 3 chief ministers in tow, one of them was Ashok Gehlot. That means
Right.
Ashok Gehlot was there, his eminence was all there to see. And that's what has pushed Sachin Pilot to go for this protest now.
You know, also what has happened is when he did decide to go for the protest, the official statement by the Congress has clearly stood by Ashok Gehlot, because the official communique of the Congress states that we are very happy with what Ashok Gehlot is doing and not touching upon anything where Sachin Pilot is concerned and his one-day fast. So a lot to read between the lines there as well. I want to quickly take one comment each. Sharat, जो बाकी MLAs हैं, अगर हम देखें पिछली बार जब जो मीटिंग होने वाली थी वहां पर सचिन पायलट थे और बाकी सारे MLAs कहीं और ही थे, इस बार उनमें से कोई MLAs बाहर आकर सचिन पायलट का साथ दे रहे हैं, जैसे खचरियावास। इसमें MLAs के भीतर क्या हो रहा है?
देखिए, एमएलए को तो उन्होंने मना कर दिया है, कोई हमारे साथ नहीं आएगा धरने में। मैं बार बार कहता हूं, देखिए, एक सचिन पायलट अशोक गहलोत के बीच का यह संघर्ष नहीं है, कांग्रेस के अंदर की दुविधा है। आप समझिए, अब जिस प्रेस नोट की आप बात कर रही थी उसमें क्या लिखा हुआ है? उस वैसे लिखा हुआ है, जीने के लिए खाना और पानी दोनों जरूरी है। और क्या लिखा हुआ है कि अशोक गहलोत के कामकाज के आधार पर हम जाएंगे जनता के बीच। तो किसके कामकाज पे जाओगे? मतलब ये कोई प्रेस विज्ञप्ति थी इस मसले को हल करने के लिए? ये तो शुतुरमुर्ग की तरह सर गाड़लों की शिकारी देखेगा नहीं। मतलब इससे वाहियात कोई प्रेस विज्ञप्ति कांग्रेस के लिए हो नहीं सकती थी इस झगड़े को खत्म करने के लिए। इससे कंफ्यूजन और बढ़ गया। आप न अशोक गहलोत का साथ दे रहे हो, न सचिन पायलट के खिलाफ बोल रहे हो। वही कंफ्यूजन आप वहां पर लगाए हो, वही कंफ्यूजन यहां पर लगाए हुए हो। अब देखिए, विधायकों में तो एक कंफ्यूजन है। अशोक गहलोत सत्ता में है, सत्ता का सुख विधायक भोग रहे हैं, इसलिए जो इनके पास जो विधायक थे वो 30 के आसपास, 20 से 30 हो सकते हैं, जो इनके जनाधार वाले इलाकों में हैं वो इनके साथ हैं। लेकिन बड़ी चालाकी से इन्होंने सभी विधायकों को कहा है कि आप नहीं आओगे, विधायक भीड़ भेज रहे हैं। तो इस मसले से वो ऊपर उठ चुके हैं कि कितने विधायक आएंगे, कितने विधायक नहीं आएंगे। अब मुझे लग रहा है कि वो राजदीप जो कह रहे थे कि वो कांग्रेस में रहकर संघर्ष करना चाहते हैं और वो इस मोड़ पर जाना चाहते हैं जहां कांग्रेस ही उनके खिलाफ कुछ कहे तो सहानुभूति लेकर शहादत दें। वो ये एक रणनीति हो सकती है, क्योंकि देखिए, बेचारा हिंदुस्तान की राजनीति का सबसे अच्छी अवस्था होती है। और राजस्थान में तीसरे मोर्चे की जगह रही, जनता पार्टी सत्ता में आई, जनता दल कांग्रेस और बीजेपी से ज्यादा सीट लाई। तो ये कहना कि राजस्थान में कभी थर्ड मोर्चा नहीं रहा है, ये गलत है। जब भी मौका मिला राजस्थान के लोगों ने थर्ड मोर्चा को ही चुना है, चाहे जनता पार्टी हो जनता दल हो।
I'm going to cut across to Dev very quickly now. Dev, the Chief Minister in all of this, Ashok Gehlot, is quiet. He was down with COVID, but I believe he's tested negative. Will we hear from him very soon?
Oh, well, absolutely. In fact, he spoke with our sister channel Aaj Tak a few days, and I can tell you, when he was pointedly asked, Preeti, that what is your take on Sachin Pilot, he maintained that back in 2020, he had turned baghi. वो रिबेल कर रहे थे, इसलिए हमने उनके खिलाफ बोला था, क्योंकि वो धर्मेंद्र प्रधान, अमित शाह के साथ मिलकर हमारी सरकार तोड़ना चाह रहे थे। पर अब हमें उनसे कोई शिकायत नहीं है। Preeti, even Pilot has matured over time. If you look at the change of strategy, back in 2020, Gehlot had called him Gaddar, Nakara, Nikamma, because the impression that was given was that he wants to become the chief minister, that he was himself hankering for the post. But in 2023, in this election year, Pilot has been very careful in choosing the kind of issues with which he is trying to put Gehlot in dock. Whether it's the paper leak issue or the corruption issue, Pilot is very careful in communicating that he's targeting not the Congress government per se, but Ashok Gehlot, because these were the matters that were taken up in the run-up to the elections when the Congress was in opposition. And the impression that he's now trying to give, Preeti, is that this is a selfless fight that he is taking forward so as to ensure that the Congress fights on the right kind of issues. And very soon
because
we
ultimately,
can see,
even if he decides
Gehlot
to leave the Congress, he still wants that door open. Rajdeep, I want to quickly bring you in and Rahul for a final comment on all of this. How do you see the next 6 months go? Because it does seem somewhere down the line that the Congress or the High Command is not very open to accommodating Mr. Pilot, because clearly you have Mr. Gehlot who's dug in his heels. Do you see him leaving? It's only 7 months from now.
You know, the problem is this is a long-running soap opera. It's been going on since 2018, ever since Mr. Gehlot was chosen over Mr. Pilot. They've never really been able to resolve the problem. And that is the real crisis. To answer your question, will he leave or not? Well, will the Congress decide? I mean, imagine you've allowed this
But
problem
not deciding, the Congress has decided
No,
that they're sticking by Mr. Gehlot.
The Congress has to say officially, as yet they haven't, that Ashok Gehlot will lead them into the next election. It appears that that's what will happen. The moment that happens, then we will know what Mr. Pilot intends to do. Otherwise, what they've done, they've prevaricated, allegedly made various promises. Only 5 months ago, Preeti, if you recall, when Ajay Makan was on his way to Jaipur, he had
with
sent
Mr.
out,
Kharge.
he had virtually, with Mr. Kharge, he had virtually sent out the message that Mr. Gehlot was moving to Delhi as Congress president and Rajasthan would have a new chief minister. That is the reality. So, you know, since then, what's changed? Kharge has become the Congress president. Since then, they've not acted in any way against, you know, the so-called dissidents. And importantly, they've sent out the message indirectly that Ashok Gehlot is still the tallest leader of Rajasthan, that he has the maximum number of MLAs. So Sachin Pilot is simply waiting for that to be made official. Once I think it's made official that Mr. Gehlot is the one who's going to lead us into the next election, then I think Mr.
makes his move.
Then I think he will have some option. Even then, I'm not sure whether he's ready to take the plunge, because he still believes that his future still lies with the Congress party.
So even if that door is not shut, Rahul, and to keep that door open, he forms his own political outfit interimly and then allies with other political outfits like the RLP and the Aam Aadmi Party. But 7 months, does Sachin Pilot has the bandwidth to actually come up with an own political outfit, the money, the organization?
See, Preeti, I think this is not what Sachin Pilot is eventually going to do. Rajdeep is right. It all depends on what the Congress does. Remember, Ashok Gehlot is one man who has dared the Congress High Command, gone against the first family's diktat when Ajay Makan and Mallikarjun Kharge were there for a meeting, and lived to tell the tale. So much so that today, after Surat's court appearance by Rahul Gandhi, it's when this press statement today, it's visible that Ashok Gehlot zaruri hai. What is happening? There is an impression now in the Congress in Rajasthan that the party is losing the election. One. And the idea is to hang on to power as long as possible, because pushing the risk, pushing Ashok Gehlot means there can be a risk to the government. That's what the Congress doesn't want to do. And I think somewhere it will like to keep the flock together, even if it is heading for a loss. I think Sachin Pilot is pushing for a moment where Ashok Gehlot may not be declared the chief ministerial candidate. I think largely the protest and everything is for that only.
Well, will that happen? We'll only know. It's only 7 months from now. Whichever way that Sachin Pilot needs to go, that decision needs to be made quickly for him, especially if it is to form his own political outfit. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. But trust me, we're going to have all four of you back again, because the desert storm brews and there's no sight of it abating anytime soon. Tomorrow, Sachin Pilot sits on that one-day fast against his own government. A quick break. Up next is Rahul Kabra.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
May 2022. A normal day that changed to an abnormal day. She was cut into 35 pieces.
उसने multiple weapons का use किया.
Up against a psychotic butcher and a web of savagery. Now her father fights to put pieces of justice together. This is the story of Shraddha and her father.
जब तक इसको फांसी नहीं होगी तब तक मैं इसका अंतिम संस्कार भी नहीं करूंगा.
My daughter Shraddha, coming soon.
Presented by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Growing Legacy.
Co-presented by
Macho Hand, बड़े आराम से. Co-powered by Aditya Birla Sun Life Insurance. इससे जरूरी कुछ भी नहीं.
The all-new Hyundai Verna, futuristic, ferocious. XP100, India's first 100-octane premium petrol.
Good evening and welcome. You're watching the news track. I'm Rahul Kanwal. Are Prime Minister Modi's opponents making a mistake in targeting the Prime Minister's educational qualifications? Could this just backfire on the opposition? Does an educational qualification really matter in determining somebody's ability to govern and administer? That's my top focus on the news track.
Prime Minister degree pe dangal. Aam Aadmi Party demands degree dikhao. Pawar stumps the opposition. Does degree make a successful neta? The degree debate, the big focus on News Track.
Before we get into the degree debate, here's a look at the headlines I'm tracking tonight. Former Congress veteran Ghulam Nabi Azad claims Rahul Gandhi meets undesirable businessmen abroad. Furious Congress hits back, calls Azad a Modi loyalist. Adani Group terms Financial Times report on its alleged offshore funding as inaccurate and mendacious, says the report did not take into account 20,000 crore rupees that the group had raised through stake sales in its businesses. Amul versus Nandini storm in Karnataka on the boil. State Congress chief visits a Nandini milk parlour, says we want to protect our farmers and don't need Gujarat-based dairy cooperative in the state. Amit Shah sends a strong message to China days after Beijing renamed land near the LAC. Home Minister to spend a night at Kibitu, 1 kilometer from the China border. Big breakthrough in the hunt for fugitive Amrit Pal. The Khalistani's aide, Papal Preet, is arrested. A big political dangle rages over the Prime Minister's educational qualifications. The Aam Aadmi is saying degree dikhao. This after Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal hit out at the PM, saying that the country needed an educated leader. Other opposition leaders, however, disagree. The NCP chief Sharad Pawar has declared that anyone's degree is not a political issue. So does a degree in any way determine who can be a successful neta? That debate is coming up on the news track tonight, but here is our lead story this evening.
आज से हम एक कैंपेन की शुरुआत कर रहे हैं. उस कैंपेन का नाम है डिग्री दिखाओ कैंपेन.
Much ado over a degree.
आज से रोज आम आदमी पार्टी के नेता अपनी डिग्री को देश के सामने रखेंगे और दिखाएंगे.
The Aam Aadmi Party launches a Degree Dikhao campaign. The move comes a week after a Gujarat court fined Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal of 25,000 for seeking details of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's degrees. The Aam Aadmi Party responded aggressively through a political maneuver.
मैंने अपनी पहली डिग्री BA दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी से करी है. ये मेरी BA की डिग्री की सर्टिफाइड कॉपी है. मैंने मास्टर्स डिग्री की है यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ ऑक्सफोर्ड से. ये उसकी डिग्री है, ये ओरिजिनल डिग्री है. उसके बाद मैंने एक दूसरी मास्टर्स डिग्री की है यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ ऑक्सफोर्ड से एजुकेशन में. ये उसकी डिग्री है.
With education as its core plank, the Aam Aadmi Party challenged the BJP leaders to show their academic credentials publicly.
खासकर के भारतीय जनता पार्टी से ये अपील करूंगी कि उनके नेता, खासकर के उनके वरिष्ठ नेता, अगर उनके पास डिग्रियां हैं तो वह जरूर वो डिग्रियां लेकर देश के सामने आए.
Shiv Sena Uddhav Bal Thackeray's MP Sanjay Raut issued a tweet last week taunting the Prime Minister's degree. But not everyone in the opposition ranks is convinced that academic qualifications should be pushed to the center of the political narrative ahead of the Lok Sabha elections in 2024. Without naming anybody, NCP Chief Sharad Pawar advised the anti-BJP camp to instead focus their attention on other pressuring issues like unemployment, law and order, inflation and crop failures. Separately, the Rashtriya Lok Dal also expressed its reservations over Aam Aadmi Party's Degree Dikhao campaign. RLD leader Jayant Singh called it elitist and unbefitting of a party elected to power in 2 states. A storm in the teacup or a potential game changer, a masterstroke or a misstep. Over to the general public to decide the fate of Aam Aadmi Party's campaign around Prime Minister Narendra Modi's degree. Bureau Report, India Today.
2 So does an educational degree in any way determine a Neta's ability to govern and administer? Is the Aam Aadmi Party catching on to what they think is a weak link in the Prime Minister's candidature, or are they actually making a big mistake? Because remember, Prime Minister Modi is strongest when he's under attack, and you're attacking him, making him out to be uneducated, illiterate. That's the kind of attack the Prime Minister relishes, and he can just turn the tables on the opposition, play the victim card, play the role of martyr, and come out all guns blazing. Joining us on this debate, I want to welcome from the BJP, it's spokesperson Sanju Verma. Squaring off against Sanju, we've got Reena Gupta from the Aam Aadmi Party. Debraj Mukherjee is a well-known academic educationist. We also have Seema Malik from the NCP. Sharad Pawar coming out once again in support of the BJP, and I'm wondering what is brewing there. Now, I want to start by asking Sanju Verma about the charges that have been heard primarily from the Aam Aadmi Party. They're saying it's not so much the degree itself, or the fact that it was from correspondence, or the fact that it's not from an Ivy League university. It's just the fact about the facts around the degree. Whether he does have a degree, where is that degree from, why can't it be made public, and why is the opposition being penalized for asking questions? So let's start from there, and then we'll take the debate over the degree dangal. Sanju Verma.
You know, Rahul, what I liked most about your introduction was that you said the Prime Minister relishes, attacks on him by the opposition, more so on flimsy grounds like the one that we are currently discussing. I'm not saying that, education is something that should be undermined. And, when you talk about the Prime Minister's education, the facts are already out in the public domain. He received his MA in political science. The degree signed off